YouTube, prepping websites, and survival blogs all recommend different ways to cook when the power goes out. But when it's below zero, a hurricane's blowing through, or you live in an apartment, or maybe you just don't want everyone in the neighborhood knowing that you're going to cook or that you have food, having a safe way to cook indoors becomes a whole lot more important. Over the last few years, I've tested these popular emergency cooking options, and today I'm going to compare them side by side to see which ones we should actually trust and which ones we should probably skip. Now, before I light anything, I wanted to talk about a couple of things first. Always have a fire extinguisher close by when you have open flames indoors. And secondly, use ventilation when necessary with some of these. And battery-powered carbon monoxide detectors or alarms is an absolute must in any sort of emergency situation where you do have open flames. There's one more thing I wanted to mention that goes along with all of these cooking methods, and that's that every meal that you don't have to cook is fuel that you can store or fuel that you can ration. Things like peanut butter, canned meat, soups, tunas, all of these things that you can just pull out of your pantry. These will get you through the first day or two, or they'll help supplement these meals that you would want to cook and you would want to heat up. All right, so let's get into the testing now and see which one of these stoves actually performs the best. And the one I'll start out with is the hot plate and the power station. And a hot plate will cost you anywhere between $30 and $100. The power station itself, though, will be a whole lot more. So if you don't have a power station, you may want to skip this one. But the time to boil on this was 6 minutes, and it used about 110 watt hours, which is quite a bit. It's 10% of this 1,000 watt hour power station that I have. It took 2.5 minutes to fry an egg. And the fuel cost is basically the price of the power station, right? So if you have a large enough power station or enough energy stored, this becomes a decent option if you've got the way to replenish that with solar. But if you don't, this might not be the option that you'd want to use. And if you do, very limited, maybe boiling a cup of coffee or something like that. This is very safe indoors. This is just like a regular stovetop, really easy to store. You just throw it in the closet. While this is the easiest and safe option, it does come with a huge caveat, and that's that it uses a whole lot of energy that could be used for other things. With some of these other options I'm going to talk about today, they have different fuels, and these fuels only have certain purposes where the energy that you have stored can be used for a whole number of different things. So you'll want to ration that and use that as little as possible, and these hot plates take up a whole lot of energy. The next one I wanted to test is the Dietz Lantern Cooker that I got, which was something that I bought a little while ago because it looked pretty cool. These are around $70 or so, and this took, to boil 1 cup of water, that's how much I'm using for each of these tests, 20 minutes, and it didn't boil. Now, if I put the lid on, you can get it to boil. All of these tests I kept the lid off so I could see them and as a visual. But if you put the lid on, they will boil faster. This went 20 minutes and then it didn't boil. After I put the lid on, it boiled after that. It took 12 minutes to fry an egg, and it didn't do very well. So this, it's a small little area up there. This didn't do very well. And while it is dual purpose, I do like it because it is dual purpose. It just doesn't work as well as I thought it would. The fuel in these lanterns, this paraffin fuel, lasts for decades if it's stored properly. So that is really nice. And it burns a lot longer than some of these other fuels I'm going to talk about. As far as indoor safety, there is an open flame risk for this. And it sits on top of this lantern, so it's not all that stable either. So overall, I gave this a 2.5 stars. This is a dual purpose item. That's why it got a little bit more. This sips fuel compared to the other stoves, so that's really nice. And this is kind of a cool option to have, but it's not really necessary to have. And like I said, it's a little bit gimmicky. And before we get into the next one, I've got a question for you. Have you used any of these unconventional cooking methods or supplies? If so, let everyone know in the comments below. So I moved on to the alcohol stove next, and these ones are about 17 bucks. You can get these on Amazon. I'd suggest getting a couple of these because once it runs out of fuel, it's really hot and you can't just pour more fuel in, so you would need to replace the whole thing. These stoves work really well. The time that it took to boil water was about 5 minutes, and it came to a rolling boil. The time to fry an egg was a little bit less than that. It was about 4 minutes. And the fuel cost for these you can use rubbing alcohol, you can use denatured alcohol, you can even use Everclear for these. But the denatured alcohol is about $15, but it will last a very long time. The shelf life of this fuel is indefinite as long as it's unopened. And the biggest problem with the fuels like these are the evaporation, right? They don't go bad, but they do evaporate. Indoor safety, this is a pretty good option because it's low profile, but it's still an open flame indoors. So make sure you have those safety precautions taken care of. It's small and lightweight. This makes one of these options a really good idea that's why backpackers use them, a really good idea for bug out bags and things like that. They are excellent in cold weather. This alcohol is. So I gave this a 4-star rating overall. These are something that you would definitely want to have. But I'm not sure that they would be your first go-to pick. And I'll go through my overall how I rank these towards the end of this video. Next, sort of along the same lines of this, is the Sterno and the canned heat. And these run about $2 per can, depending on what you get. You can get some of at the dollar store, for $1.50. They're complete junk, so don't do that. But the Sterno ones, the InstaFire ones, those ones are going to run hotter than the cheaper 7-pin. And I've even tested this out, and they absolutely do get hotter. They get the water hotter, and they get everything hotter faster. Time to boil was about 20 minutes with these, and I tested 3 different kinds, and this is without the lid. These didn't boil after 20 minutes. But again, just like the Lantern, if you do put a lid on this when you're trying to boil water, 1, it stops that water from evaporating, and 2, it does get it to boil quicker. So keep that in mind if you're ever in this situation. You want to cover the water. To fry an egg, I took the hottest one, the one that worked the best, and it took about 9 minutes to fry an egg. So it took a little bit of time, twice as long as that alcohol stove did. And the fuel cost between 15 and 30 bucks for a 12-pack, and you'll need some sort of grill. I've got a sort of a camp grill that I use, and I've also got just a grill top with 4 soup cans that I use, and I got this grill top from the dollar store. Canned heat, the fuel lasts between 5 and 10 years as long as they're stored in good condition, and will probably go beyond that. And indoor safety, these are very good. You may need a little bit of ventilation, but I haven't ran into any issues. I use them all the time when I have family coming over for chafing dishes, and caterers use these all the time as well. So these are very safe indoors. They're easy to store. They're flat. They come in, if you get a case, it's a flat case, and they are excellent in cold weather as well. So these, overall, I gave these a 2-star just because I think there are better options. They're expensive considering how much fuel you're going to need, how long it takes to heat something up. And a lot of these will warm things up, but it's not going to really cook anything. So really depends on the type you get. And also you're going to have to figure out a rack or a stove for these. Something that makes these Sternos or canned heat a little bit better is the Vesta InstaFire. And this is another one of those dual purpose supplies. This is a heater and a cooker. This runs about $100. And this one, with 2 of these canned heats lit, it took about 12 minutes to boil water uncovered. And to fry an egg, it took about 7 minutes. So it was better than just the single can of the Sterno. And keep in mind, the reason that the Sternos don't work so well is because it's the size of the flame. The more flame you have, the quicker something's going to work, or the better something's going to work. With these that have 1 or 2 wicks in them, you're limited to that. So 2 of these is going to work better than 1. The fuel cost, the same as the other Sternos. For these InstaFire extra hots, you're looking at about 15 bucks. And as far as indoor safety, this is better than the Sterno cans because it has a self-contained unit, and it is pretty easy to store. So overall, I gave this InstaFire a 3.5 rating. Even though it is that canned heat, this is a dual purpose item, which gives it, a little bit of a boost. I've had people ask me about using this with alcohol stoves as well, and it works very well with this. With the alcohol stove, it boiled water in just 7 minutes, and it will actually cook things a lot quicker as well. Again, the problem with alcohol stoves is how long it stay on until that fuel gets depleted. You only have so much in there. The next one I tested is a prepper favorite. This is the Gas One dual fuel. This is butane and propane. These cost about 30 bucks. You'll see these mentioned in the preparedness community quite a bit. Time to boil water. These next few I'm going to talk about are basically just like your kitchen stove. Boiling water took about 80 seconds. Frying an egg took about 90 seconds. And the fuel cost for these is $3 a can for the butane and $5 for the 1 pound propane canisters. And keep in mind, the propane canisters are going to burn twice as long as the butane, so that makes them even more cost effective. Now, when it comes to burning these inside, I would steer clear of the propane unless I absolutely had to, and I would go with the butane side of this for indoor cooking. Although I did test this with the propane canister hooked up for about 20 minutes or so, and it never did do anything with my carbon monoxide detector or my carbon monoxide alarm. So the indoor safety, this is not recommended by the manufacturer, but this is one of those things that preppers, use at your own risk. But like I said, I didn't have any issues while I was doing the testing with these. So the overall rating for this one is a 3.5 stars because it does work pretty well. And the fuel flexibility is really nice, plus the low cost as well. And sort of along the same lines, a butane stove, I tested my Iwatani, and this is 15,000 BTUs, and this one's a lot more expensive. This is about $130, although there are a couple other brands, the smaller Iwatani and the Chef Master or the Tech Chef. Those are all less expensive and are at like 8,000 or 9,000 BTUs, but that's plenty. The time it took to boil water with my Iwatani was about 70 seconds, and to fry an egg about 80 seconds. So you can see it used twice as many BTUs, which means it's using more fuel, and it cooked and boiled water in about the same amount of time as the Gas One did. Again, the shelf life of this fuel is indefinite. If it's stored properly, it's the container that's really the problem, not the fuel. Indoor safety with this one, these are rated for indoor use, so that's excellent. But the one caveat is the cold weather performance. The butane does not do well outdoors in the cold, so you're going to have to keep that in mind as well. Hopefully it's not that cold below freezing in your home, because if it is, you've got other problems. So this stove I rated at 5 stars because it's expensive, but there are other options that aren't expensive that are rated for indoor use. These are the safest option. These are basically just like cooking on a burner or on your stove. You don't need extra parts. They store really well. And this Iwatani specifically, we use this year round, not just for emergencies. So it really is a good stove. So let's rank all of these in order because the star system isn't exactly how I rank them. The Dietz Lantern is the worst because from a cooking perspective, it's not really a cooker. It's more of a warmer. It's a great option if you're using it for light already, using a lantern anyway, so why not use it to warm up a cup of soup or warm up a cup of coffee? But the top is so small and it's so sort of unstable, and it's not necessarily the safest as far as stability. It's not something that I would go buy this, especially for the price it is. The hot plate comes in next, and this is a hard one to rank really, because if you've got enough stored energy and you've got good solar capabilities, this might be the best option for you if you've got, a lot of energy. So for some people, they might rank this higher than I have. But for most of us, this is only good for, occasionally boiling water or making a cup of coffee, using, 5 or 10 minutes a day maybe. But any more than that, we're just wasting energy that could be used elsewhere. And then we've got the canned heat, which in a pinch, this will get the job done. We hear about this in a lot of different videos, but this is not something I would rely on and not something that I would stockpile cases of. It's too expensive when you factor in how long it takes to heat something up and how much fuel it burns. And if you have some, great, like we do things throughout the year that we have some, that's great. but there are better options available, which leads me to the InstaFire, which I have rated next. This is a step above that regular canned heat. And because it's a dual purpose, it's a heater as well, I have this ranked a little bit higher. And you can also use the alcohol stoves in here. And because this is a self-contained unit, it's really good because you don't have to worry about things tipping over all that much and creating fire hazards. But again, this is cool. This is a nice little unit, but it's not a, quote unquote must have. Now the alcohol stoves, this comes in third place, but I do recommend everyone have a couple of these and a little bit of fuel to use with these because they work so well. They get really hot. They don't burn for very long, but they do get really hot. And you're going to want to have a couple of these, like I said earlier, so they can be refilled and switched out. But these alcohol stoves may not win as far as the best option, but they are good options to have. And they're so cheap that I think everyone should have one. The gas one, butane and propane stove, comes in at number 2 here because it gives you a couple of different options for fuel type. And just like the saying goes in preparedness, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. Although I would probably stick with the butane when you're cooking indoors with this, that propane will work. It isn't specifically rated for indoors, although I had no issues with it whatsoever. So this would be something that I wouldn't use daily, but I would use it in a grid down situation if I really had to. And that leads me to the winner of all of this is the Butane stove or those similar butane stoves that I mentioned that are rated for indoor use. These are used quite a bit in restaurants in Japan, and they're no different really than cooking on your indoor range if you have a gas range. They cook a lot quicker than the induction cooktops because they're open flame, but they're not dangerous because they're so low profile. Now, the Butane that I've got that at 15,000 BTUs is probably overkill. You can get away with about 8,000, and you're going to use less fuel by using that smaller BTU stove. Just keep that in mind. Although the Butane it is adjustable and it can go really low where you can use very little fuel. You can get one of these lower cost stoves that is safe for indoor use and a few cans of butane for less than $100. So that makes these a really nice option as far as indoor cooking in a grid down or emergency situation. So that's how I've got all of these ranked today. If you would rank them differently, make sure and leave a comment below. Also, if there are other cooking methods that I didn't mention, or if you've done some testing yourself, make sure and leave that comment below as well. But with that, I am done here today, everyone. Take care and prepare. We will talk to you all later.